I welcome you to another edition of Politics Explained on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. And today we are discussing something very important that speaks to the situation of the country. From electoral enthusiasm to voter apathy, Nigeria's political culture from 1993 to the present. And my guest this evening is His Royal Highness Obayedo Adeola Nkadi Obanla Ademola. Welcome on board, Your Royal Highness.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
Presenter. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
And now are you coping with the political climate?
I'm trying my best. Exactly. So let's start with this short intro, because according to G. Almond and S. Vaba, they define political culture as a pattern of individuals' beliefs, ideas, orientation of the political system towards politics. And then under that definition, they came up with three tenets, which the first one is the cognitive orientation that speaks to how people see and understand their political culture. Yeah. And the second one is the affective orientation, which speaks to how people have been able to process it and the impact on them. And the last one is the evaluative orientation that talks about their conclusions about what they've been able to see or maybe process about their political system. And now my question, takes us back to the 1993 the June 12 election. Because if you check now, the last election, can actually tell us so much. The number of people who came out to vote was really low compared to what we used to have, especially during the 1993 election. What really happened?
Oh, yes. Something great happened. Quite disastrous. June 12, 1993, we can call it probably the best election conducted so far in Nigeria. And then even though we may not be able to say that probably will any other one come near it, but it's playing out that way. Now, the election, as it were, the presidential election particularly, went for the formula they call option A4, where people will queue. You vote, and you see where you have voted, you see what ballot box you are using, and then you step aside to allow others to come in and exercise their franchise, after which case the counting is done, and there and then you get the result. No way manipulating, rigging, snatching anything. That happened, and then the results came out with each polling booth, units, sections and regions and states, and then as everything will come down to the national collating center. Lo and behold, you see, from each polling booth, you have the result. We all know the results. Even the blind can be able to attest to it. And then thereafter, you have the agents having their results with them. So you can quickly add up to say polling center 1, 2, 3. Maybe my candidate got 444, then that's 12. Probably the total vote count is something like, let's put it at 20, between 3 or 4 people. So with that, you can easily conclude your candidate as won.
Okay.
But while that happened, it happened free, fair, no rains, no disturbance, no thuggery, no shouting, no jumping the queue and everything. It was quite in angelic order. And then just for us to hear that, in between, they were delaying the release of the result. What will bring about that? People are putting heads together, and prior to that, the military rule had almost frustrated the patience of the politicians, the electorates, and even the citizenry.
Was that the only reason why people came out en masse to vote?
Oh, yes. That was the reason. You see, it was like, we are fed up of this nonsense. And so we're going to use our card to speak. So that actually happened. And then in the process, people came out. I must tell you, people came out. People came out. So much, very well. Even the ones that would not have cards to vote, they were there to observe. And people waited till evening time. Old people, elderly, professors, business barons, students, market women, artisans, all manners of people. Everybody came out, and then the counting was orderly. The collation was quite fine. It was just at the point of releasing the results to say, okay, the ones for this zone, we know it already. People that are there, they knew what it had been. And even people were sending results to their supervisors, to their state coordinators, to the regional coordinator, and then national coordinator. So, within a fraction of hours, we got the results with the people.
Okay.
Now, the military junta, they were delaying. What's happening? 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8, 9, 10. Look, what's going on? Let's know, please. There's this professor on Frewosu, who was
in charge of the NEC at that time.
And then the man looked very fair-minded, incorruptible, and then so people were having the confidence. Just for this thing to drag and drag and drag and drag, eventually, it was like at the verge of Nwosu wanting to release the result, to start to release the result, then he was, silenced. You dare not do that. So the military later came up to say that we should wait. Wait till for how long? In any case, eventually they concluded in their own military might to say the election had been annulled. What? How what? Annulled.
Some argue that the reason why it was annulled was because of certain irregularities.
No, forget about that. You see, they did all sort of pranks, anticipating, the military strategists. They knew they were just flying kite, for people to say, oh, we are fed up of military rule, we are fed up of military rule, so military must go, and they felt that, okay, you want democratic governance of your own people, no problems. We will give you election for politicians to come in. And then they were trying to play some pranks in between, like nobody must take party logo to the voting center. They decided to say, okay, maybe Abiola should put on a cap or something like that. But in all this, people couldn't be bothered. It was like people are throwing all those tricks, to the wind to say, look, today be today. Enough is enough. We are going to vote, and we are going to stand by our votes to make sure that they count and that we get results. So while that happened, do you know it happened throughout Nigeria? In Abiola's opponent's base.
Okay, state.
Even in his own local government, in his own ward, Abiola won.
In Kano.
Abiola won. So what will you say of that? And then, and these were the areas of where people have been hoping that we really want what we call true federalism via pure democracy.
So if people didn't care about ethnicity back then, they didn't care about religion, because that ticket of SDP was a Muslim ticket. So what is happening now? Because I remember the last time a particular political party decided to field Muslim ticket, it caused a lot of issues in the country. So if people could take it back then, what changed?
Yeah, what changed is this. Now, see, that was part of the plans to destabilize the outcome of the election, because they were hoping that, you see, the military people, they have option this, option that. It's like when you are in warfare, to say that you change strategies and all that. So they were anticipating that in case it happens this way, they go that way. In case this, they go that way. Part of it was to say Muslim ticket, and that maybe at a point in time they can use that to say, oh, the Muslim ticket should not work, and therefore people will not vote, people will protest, and then they will boycott or do all sort of things. But people said, look, put Satan ticket. We are saying we are fed up of this military rule. Let them go back to the barracks, and then for civil rule of the people, and particularly the people that they will trust. Such is the caliber of Chief MKO Abiola. The whole, you see, let me give you the strength of that election. While it was being under protest, for the first time in history of humanity, the whole world came together on a cause to say that not religion, not ethnicity, not racial discrimination, not whatever bias, that Abiola, by the results that have been with the people, verifiable, that Abiola won. There is no way they could have rigged the figures. So that was what led to the annulment. Now, wanting to use all these flimsy excuses of Muslim ticket, this one, that one, people say, look, it does, we don't mind it. It's okay. Even call it same mother born. That is okay by us. All in the name of military must go.
So you mentioned option A for ballot system.
Yes.
The other time.
Oh, there.
Can it work in today's Nigeria? Because, I mean, according to what I read, people wanted to vote for a particular person,
yes,
stood in front of his banner,
okay,
and then they voted.
Yeah, that's
and something like that. The reason why I'm asking is this, because over time, we've seen videos in the last elections that even when certain persons know that you want to vote for somebody that they are not comfortable with, yes, people get injured because of things like that. So how much more when you now stand in front of the banner of that person, that this is the person I'm voting for? It's like open system. Can it work in today's Nigeria?
It's very difficult to work. See, while that happened those days, realistically, people had that enthusiasm of, we want military to go. We want to vote in somebody we can trust, somebody we know that can perform. So as a result, with all joy and determination, people came out, not looking right, not looking left, other than this is what we believe in. This is who we believe, who we trust. And that was Chief MKO. Even in the north, in the east, everywhere. So that was why there was no chaos as to that kind of, sometimes some people will tell us that would that not be barbaric if we are putting up such a formula or system today? Because as you rightly sensed, that the agent, like on that day, I was standing as agent, which people, representing my candidate.
Okay.
But maybe because it's a elitist area of the town, in Bodija, where you have professors, ministers, governors, this and that, so we were just talking across to ourselves, and then it's like, okay, Shay, you are the one standing for so person, and so people queue, they do their voting, they sit down. Even professors of 80 years, this and that, ministers, and then the likes of Chief Bolaige and the rest of them. So we were doing it that way, not minding. So you are not voting for so person. As you have sensed today, it may not be as simple, as easy, sincerely, because probably the maturity, probably the quest of just getting these military people out of our way will not allow for confusion or thinking of, so you are voting for this, this other person, you are voting for this other person. Not at all. I could remember that after the voting, after everybody must have, dropped their destiny, the representative of the other party, I was standing for one party, the representative of the other party, we were chatting that, you want to do now? Well, fail, reunion, kankan. Then at the time it was like, can I loan you some vote, from my own full to the brim something, that kind of a thing. But today, precisely, it will be difficult.
All right, let's talk about the political parties. Certain people have argued that the reason why a lot of people came out to vote for that election is because we had just two political parties.
Yes, we had
NRC
two.
and SDP.
And SDP.
Compared to what we have now, multi-party system, internal crisis. And so these people are saying this is the major reason why a lot of persons are not interested in coming out to vote. Because of the internal crisis and the multi-party system, a lot of people are confused about who to really vote for.
Well, you see, multi-party system is not a bad idea. The only thing, let me tell you this truth. Many a time, I share it with those who can understand it. African countries are not too matured for democracy. You know why?
Why?
Because of the education. Democracy thrives in well-enlightened society. And that is why you discover that there are a lot of confusions with these people having to think of this, think of that, not, bothering us to no manifesto, no ideology. It's just a question of party in the name. When you look at it, what are you actually going to do for the people? What do you stand for? What are we expecting from you by the time you become our leader? Nothing like that. But in a situation where, like the NRC, SDP, we say, one to the left, one to the
right.
right. You know, progressive, conservative, something like that. But today, sincerely, it's very disturbing that look at all the parties. Ask any party leader, whether at the state level, at the national level, at the local government level, that what's your ideology? Honestly, it's zero. They are ideologically bankrupt. And so that is in an area whereby what we call Jankara politics can come in. You know why? It's question of person one wants to come into election, is he belongs to party B, party A, let's put it that way. Now, person one, what's he up to? What's the pedigree? What's the antecedents? What are the manifestos canvassed forward to the people? Nothing other than probably he has the money or he has a godfather. And the next thing is Omawani say, put him there, load him there, and that's where you discover of this internal what do we call it? Party democracy. Rocking the boat. Consensus candidate. There's nothing wrong with that. If it is done, you know, with pure intention of having a candidate that can deliver. But maybe in this case, it may be a question of the croning of the party leader. And then that's who they put up. So with that, that is what is giving birth to emergence of new day parties that will now lopside the whole thing. That if I cannot get the ticket here, think of somebody who had been a party loyalist for past, let's put it at 12 years, and somebody now comes up with a friend whom they were together, maybe abroad, and decided to say, oh, Oremi, what about ticket now? I'm quitting the stage, so I can put you in for, I'll know the way to lobby or to coerce the party machinery for you. So then they put such a person over a party loyalist of, say, like 12 years standing, you know, committed, hardworking, very resourceful, charismatic. Now, in a situation like that, you see such a person saying, no.
The argument of some party leaders or party owners is that they decided to give it to somebody who is more popular, who can win elections, rather than give it to someone who's been loyal to the party for years.
I don't believe in that argument, because I will tell you what's the popularity of the person.
NDC is a very good example with what is going on within the party currently.
Okay.
Because the ticket was given to Obi alongside Kwakwanto.
Yes.
And then there are people who are aggrieved because they have been members of the
Obi
party.
had been on the scene for long. Don't forget that. Obi had been on the scene. He was there in the days of Abacha. So, you know, probably he was not as loud or something. So, you know, there is what we call political tutelage, where people will be undergoing the studies and then be watching this, be looking at that, and then maybe at a point in time, you even find some who work like PA, you know, to some of these people. Like, well, don't let me mention some names,
okay,
you know, who later will have been given the ticket. We say that, okay, everybody will know that, one Uba, Omo Baba, Obasanjoni, and then having being loyal to Obasanjo, being there, doing this, doing that together, whatever. So eventually it's like, Baba, I too, I can perform, and it's like, so be it. So that is what I mean when I say that not imposing people who just come from the blue, and then people just coming from nowhere, that we just hear that. Let's be honest. Today, most of these candidates, they are people we see as not only newcomers, of no experience, of limited political background, not even. It's a different thing if you say you are going to bring the grandson of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, that you will have thought of, oh, he is coming from a political family of timber and caliber, that probably, I mean, the experience will be there or something. But in this case, you just find somebody coming from Canada, somebody coming from Brussels, somebody coming from because a motor dealer or whatever, is this, is that, and then the next thing is that have you heard that they will tell you that if you want to come in for gubernatorial or senatorial election, you must be a multi-billionaire? Then people like Lamadeshina, people like who, do you know, they don't have any money. It's the party that will raise fund for them. In fact, in some cases, you have to beg them to say, please, we want you to do this thing. That happened to my own son too. My son contested in Bodija because they had to beg me to say, look, you have 4 boys, and then we've not been having somebody representing us from the Bodija estate, called Bodija estate, where we have ministers, president, governor, maybe VC, this and that. So, okay. So, and I persuaded one of my children. So, he got into it. He won again. They dabaru the whole thing. They changed it. We went to court. And I was told that, look, I won the court. So, you are wasting your time. You see, these are the kind of things that will bring about apathy today, to say, will it count? We are not ready to waste our times again. I told you, in those days, when you were talking of this, when the zeal was there to say, yes, we really want to use, we want to exercise our franchise, our political, So, you see professors of 90, 80 coming to they will bring food.
So are you saying that the vigor, that interest to come out to vote, ended after the annulment of the 1993 elections?
Oh, yes. Now, let me tell you how it started. When the military eventually decided, after the June 12 movement crisis, it was rough, it was bloody. I faced bullet from Abacha military men while we were trying to mobilize students from Poli, UI, to go to Dodo cantonment. And myself and my wife were in the midst of the bullet, soldiers, police shooting up here, down there, and all that.
And many of those youths died because of that.
Oh, many people died. Many people died. Before we took, you see, the OPC then took off as intellectual pressure group for good governance. We started in Bola Ige's house, Chief Bola Ige's house. And then Baba Mojola, Femi, Falana, Fasheun, Frederick Fasheun, these are our other friends. Anyway, like 8 to 14, Professor Olaoni, people like that, And then occasionally, while we were pushing for our demands to say that we want the actualization of the June 12 result, and the mandate given to Chief MKO Abiola. When we were doing our protest, and then we will get that order came from the villa to say they should quell the riot. Then the military people, they shoot, they kill, maybe 1, 2, 3. I remember vividly well, one of these our people, our followers, said, excuse sir, I have a father in Foko area that can use rice to make bullets and I can kill. If tomorrow we are on protest to give letter to, I think Shashayin was a military administrator then, we used to take off from UI gate to Secretariat, go and give this letter to your Oga in Abuja to say that we are insisting on the release of presidential result. Something like that, and maybe in the process, so that was how militancy came in. And some of these boys will say, now, if these people want to scare us in, as against capitulating from our position and determination, that they too, they will go militant with them. That's when you see some of our boys armed with guns, with whatever, maybe with rice and all that. So they claim they have juju, but for me, I have God. So that was how the militancy of this OPC thing was, coming up. So they decided to kill some people, and we conveyed what you call Yoruba Leaders Summit at the Premier Hotel. I think that was 94. Mama Didiolu was around, Chief Akinloye, AMA Akinloye, Tunji Braithwaite, Chief Obolaige, think of all leaders, whether former governors, former this, former that, or this, to now say, what do we do? So, and we concluded that Abdul Salam had announced to the whole world that he was not cut out for governance. He wanted to go. You aggrieved Southwest people, go and think of whoever you want to put there. So, based on that, we decided at the meeting to say that we are going to we are going to embrace the local government election, because that one will be within our own people.
Okay. We
are going to embrace the state election, that is not going to be one Danlami that is coming to be contest for governorship of Oyo State. It may be one Adelakun, one Adeola Yinka, or as the case may be. So, yeah, that's fine. But when it comes to presidential election, we put up that slogan, to your tent, O Israel.
So, let me quickly ask this question. The current president of Nigeria, did he play any role around that time in terms of advocating, just like how you mentioned that you and some of your friends came out to protest during that time? You are a very sound historian, yes. Did he play any role at all? Was he vocal in any way?
Oh, you are talking of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
He played. He was a member of NADECO. We were together in NADECO. He was funding. At the time, Abacha plays a bullet price on his head, and he had to escape away. But working from outside, he did. To answer your question, he did. Some of us who will have been arrested and be taken to Aladno, like Olaoni, and then one Akeju and myself. Olaoni died in the process. So, but the people who were, supporting financially, because some of these protests, we need to mobilize market women. Sometimes we have to give them money to say, for tomorrow. Ẹ má worry. Àmọ́ pé they call themselves pé olóúnjẹ òjò làwọn. Pé is what they sell each day that they eat from.
Can we still get women like Alimoto Pelewura? You know, those women that were very instrumental. They were not politicians,
yes,
but they mobilized people, the market women. Because most women are not even interested in politics in Nigeria today.
No, that's what led to it. Because when after that one, it was like, look, kí lẹ ń dá wa láàmú fún gbogbo ẹ̀ náà kò kú yọrí sí nǹkan kan, that it was you know, waste of time. It was waste of energy. It was waste of resources. Some will even tell you that in some cases, like Moroti, I think a student was killed in Odono by some of these Mopo or whatever, you know, that some people died in the process, and then in such a case. See, what you are saying, at a time some people will tell us, look, you these Akada radicals, I don't know, okay, let me just put it that way, in the raw form. Maybe I'll, you know, change it. Ẹ máa kó àwọn ìyàwó ilé, ẹ máa kó wọn ṣe òṣèlú. Àwọn ìyàwó tí yín, wọ́n wà ní Paris, wọ́n wà ní Canada, ní Oslo, wọ́n máa mu tea, máa ṣe shopping. That Kọ́lá Onda láàrin wa tá ń jà fún bàbá ẹ̀. See, at the time people put that to us, and that also led to myself having to say, okay, my wife will follow me at the next protest. Pé obìnrin pé tẹ́ bá fi wí pé bóyá akàn where, you know, that was the way it was put, and that, you know, got to my own serious mind to say, no, it's not like that. We were pure about what we were doing, and I said, oh, I had to beg my wife to say, sorry, maybe you have to come with me, and she agreed. So anyway, we can still have such women. You know, look at this Aisha in
Aisha Yusufu.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, so let me say this loudly. Mama Kofo Bokno Tinubu.
Okay.
We held a rally in Yaba, and we were told that the rally, they should not allow it to stage. It was one of the hottest days of the rally, when people like Walter Carrington, the then ambassador to Nigeria from US, would tell us, oh, look, you people, if you want your mandate, you have to be serious about it, you know. Then be fully on the ground.
Exactly. So, I'm just sorry to cut you, because that's a very interesting conversation. But because of time, can you please respond to, I know you can provide solutions. How can we improve the interest of the people? Because in 1993, we had 35% of people that came out to vote. In 1999, it went up to 52.3%. And in 2003, we experienced the highest turnout ever, 69.1%. About 42 million Nigerians came out to vote. In 2007, we had 57.5. In 2011, we had 53.7. And in 2015, we had 43.7. 2019, we had 34.8%, and 2023, the last election, we had 26.7%. Very low. How can we improve it? Because elections is fast approaching.
We can only improve it by way of being fair. You know what I mean by being fair? I will tell you. We may not be able to have a turnaround of the situation from the statistics that you have given, okay, unless we engage in fair play game.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you, when the primary was done in Lagos for gubernatorial something, Funshaw Williams came first, Kofo Bokno, and then the present president later, you know. So, but after the primary, and it was adjudged by Baba Ibrahim Adesanya to say that, look, we have to set aside the result. So, for that, let's give it to Tinubu. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Protest started from there. and Tinubu can now choose. No. Kufu Bokno was given to Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu as deputy governor. They said because we were together, Ajofoju we not Ibon ni Yabani, when Abacha people were saying that nobody will, they were harassing people. I would
love us to continue this conversation, but so we need to go.
That was how that thing was given to Kufu, But in a situation like that, there were protests where people, I don't know whether you heard of Funshaw Williams.
Right.
There were a lot of protests where people were, this and that, and then some people will drop out. Some people will even say, no. Let them run their thing the way they want it. If what we do, if our wish, our vote will not count, then, let them impose whoever they want. And that goes on. I'm sorry, till tomorrow, where you discover that this will have been the party man that, let's say, majority will have had interest voting for or putting up as their candidate. And the next thing is somebody will just come and say, Lady Adelakun is Franklin that I want to be in the something, as against our understanding of it that it was Taiwo Kehinde that should be. Probably that one have been in the pipeline for the last 2 years. But overnight, they'll just change it. Then, in a situation like that, we are all human beings. Anybody still having blood is sensitive to pains. So the next thing is that, look, madam, I don't think I have such time to waste anymore. So that's how people, we say that, look, it doesn't matter. They the language they use.
We need to go.
Want more canton fair share, want more BT one law. So therefore, don't let us waste our time. So that is what is bringing about the apathy. And except and unless until when they decide to take to what is right, to say if the whole Ibadan decided to vote just a broadcaster by the name of Adelakun as their own representative at the Senate, so be it. Then when we have such, and we know that, that is when you see people coming out to say, okay, now we are ready to, to play the game according to its rule. And then we'll be fully on the ground. So that is what I think can be the only way out. Not in a situation of where people will be telling you, even at the last minute, they can still change a candidate.
Right. A big thanks to you, sir. Your Royal Highness of Bayedu Adiolanka, the Obanla of Atimula. Thank you for being a part of today's session. I think you've been able to profile quite a number of solutions that people should be more interested in politics. The women, the youths, and of course the entire country. A big thanks to you for being a part of today's session. One thing is certain, that the challenges and issues surrounding the electoral system of this country are not enough reasons for you to stay back at home on election day. Come out. It's your right to come out and vote. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you.